Hi everyone, my name is Shimaruler15 and welcome to my class where we will talk about the past perfect yet again. You speak Spanish? Yes, let's go. This is awesome. This is Pog. Anyway, yeah, as Magical just posted, that's my YouTube channel where I upload all my recordings, as well as stream Minecraft occasionally. But hi everyone. Okay, so today we are going to continue with our quest to master the past perfect and all of its confusing glory. In all of its confusing glory, I mean. But yeah, the indicative and the subjunctive. If you remember, the past perfect indicative, well, let me talk about the indicative and subjunctive first. So if you all remember, the indicative mood is a mood that deals with things that are true or believed to be true. So, for example, the sentence, all humans breathe, is indicative because it's a fact that all humans breathe. You will not find a human that doesn't. But for the subjunctive, that deals with things that are not real. Things like wishes or hypotheticals or demands or recommendations, stuff like that. So, you want to see a human that doesn't breathe? Heh. So, for example, for the subjunctive, you could say, I recommend that you not go to sleep late. So that, in that case, that's a subjunctive because it's a recommendation. But I just wanted to quickly cover what the indicative and subjunctive are. We're going to start with the past perfect. So, can anyone tell me, if you all remember, how do you form the past perfect? Had plus what? Third row? I think you mean verb 3, but yeah. The same thing really. Yeah, that's so yeah, you're correct. Yeah, had plus subject plus had plus past participle. Yes, there you go. Yeah, see, you all got it. So had been, had done, oops, had followed, had sung, had swum, had listened, etc. And there are both active and passive forms. Yeah, swum. Swim, swam, swum. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, and there are two forms. Well, no, I'm sorry, not two forms. So there are like two voices, if you could think about it that way. Two voices for the past perfect. The past perfect active and the past perfect passive. So can anyone give me an example of the past perfect active and the past perfect passive? The bear had attacked me. I had been attacked by the bear. There you go. There you go. Yeah, some people would say had swam, but I think the standard form, if I'm not mistaken, the standard form would be had swum. Yeah, this is the class that was announced. But you know, people mess up with past participles in English all the time, so that doesn't really surprise me. But anyway, yeah, exactly. I had done my homework. The homework had been done. Perfect. Actually, there is a class after this one. There's a class after this one, but that's okay because this class is going to be very short anyway, so yeah, it's Alan G's class and he's going to have it at 3, so like almost about 90 minutes from now. In my time zone, it would be 3 o'clock, 90 minutes from now. What's the next class about? I don't know. He has to announce it. Is it the same as direct and reported speech? No, not quite. Okay. But yeah, you guys get it. And remember, there are technically 2 past perfects in English. The past perfect indicative and the past perfect subjunctive. Can anyone provide me examples of those 2? I like that someone's translating this. Thank you. I do it myself, but I'm still B2 in Spanish, so sorry. Yeah, exactly. Recorded and direct speech, that's something different. But yeah, can anyone provide examples of the past perfect indicative and the past perfect subjunctive? I wish he had proposed. Yeah, that would be the past perfect subjunctive. No, I'm talking about the past perfect subjunctive. That would be like, that was and were there would be like the past simple subjunctive. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly, Carlos. Had I had better dental hygiene, I wouldn't be suffering from tooth pain at the moment. So if you remember, the past perfect subjunctive is formed it's formed when you in conditionals. So if this, then this. So in that formula for what we call the third conditional, you put the past perfect subjunctive in the first and then the conditional perfect in the second. So if you had listened to me, you wouldn't have broken that vase. Oops. If you had listened to me, you wouldn't have broken that vase. Or you can invert it as Carlos did in his example. Had you listened to me, so you can do it like this. If you had listened to me, you wouldn't have broken that vase. Had you listened to me, you wouldn't have broken that vase. And this is what we call the third conditional. So it's not the second conditional or the first or zero or the zero conditional. No, it's the third conditional. And we can invert the had here with and listen. We can invert that because that's the past perfect subjunctive. That's what we call inversion in English. You can invert certain subjunctives, like the past perfect subjunctive. So instead of saying if you had listened to me, you could say had you listened to me. Although had you listened to me sounds a bit more formal. So try not to invert too much in casual conversations, because then you sound a bit literary if you do that. Okay, and as like Magical's example is, if they hadn't gone to sleep, they would have been able to enroll in the class. Yeah. Or had they not gone to sleep, they would have been able to enroll in the class. Yeah, exactly. See, you got it. No, Orange, that's the first conditional. If you do this, then you will get punished. Okay. And remember, you can invert the past perfect subjunctive, but you cannot invert the past perfect indicative. So, just remember that. Yeah, and as Antonio just pointed out, in Spanish, if I had studied, like let's say that's the past perfect subjunctive. If I had studied, in Spanish, si hubiera estudiado. And I'll just put the pronoun in there just to make it a little clearer. I'll put it in parentheses. Or hubiese, I should say. Let me edit that a bit, because I keep forgetting that second form exists, because you won't hear it in Latin America. But anyway, that's how you translate it to Spanish. Okay. Okay, so that's a good idea, Carlos. Let me provide an example of the past perfect indicative, if you remember. Okay, so okay, hold on. If you had done the chores by the time your mother came home, then why was she so upset at you? Past Perfect 2 featuring Anna Kendrick. Ha! When I'm gone. But anyway. So in that case, that would be the past perfect indicative. And if you try to invert that, it won't sound right. So try to invert it, and you'll see that it would not make any sense. And another thing I need to point out is that with the past perfect subjunctive, sometimes you can omit the participle itself. Now, what do I mean by this? Okay, let me provide an example. Is that how you translate to Spanish? Because I was intending to use the past perfect in English, so I thought it would, in Spanish you'd do it the same. Like, but how would you say had done in Spanish? Like, I forgot. Oh right, había hecho, or habías hecho, I should say. Well, whatever. But I don't know. No, they're not related to the past perfect. No, you wouldn't use the past perfect subjunctive there. I mean, yeah, it's technically hiciste, not hiciste, but like a lot of people do that. It's happened so frequently to the point where I'm not bothered by it anymore. It's just, that's just it. That's just what people do. Okay, but anyway. Okay, so let me show you an example where you can omit. The verb, the past participle. Okay. It's a good thing that we didn't lose the game. Yes. If we had, then we would have been eliminated from the finals. So you can actually omit the past participle there if it's clear from the context. But anyway, yeah. See, that's I meant for the translation to be habías hecho rather than hiciste. Hiciste could work too. I mean, and it's the same thing in English. Like, if you did your homework before your mom came home, then why was she upset at you? I'm sorry, not homework. Did I say homework? I meant chores. Yeah, chores. So if you did do your chores before or quite simply, if you did your chores before your mom came home, then why was she upset at you? Like, same thing. Yeah, I record my lessons. Okay. So, and if you recall that with the past perfect, we use it when we want to show a connection between two different points of time in the past. So, for example, well, actually, before we do that, so as you guys saw, in English, both the past perfect indicative and past perfect subjunctive take the same form. So in this case, they would both be had done. But in languages like Spanish and Portuguese, they're different. So in Spanish, it would be, for the indicative, it would be habías hecho. And for the subjunctive, it would be hubieras or, oh my god, hubieses. Hubieses, that's correct. Hecho. So you can see that in Spanish, the indicative and subjunctive forms are completely distinct. But in English, they're the same. So to tell the difference in English, you have to rely on the context. And I showed you two contexts where one is indicative and the other is subjunctive. So really, it's just the context. The context makes it pretty obvious as to which form it's being used. So here, let me actually put in indicative. And there's technically another past perfect in Spanish, but that one is pretty old-fashioned, and it's used only in formal context. It would be something like hubiste hecho, but no one really uses that outside of legal and formal matters. Anyway, so it's really just one in Spanish right now. but you get the idea. So in Spanish and English, these forms work the same way. Okay, so if you recall, the past perfect is used when we are trying to connect two different points of time in the past. So for example, as soon, oops, let me not use that one. I had finished the test when the teacher declared it was over. Or by the time, really, that works too. I had finished the test when, or by the time, I had finished the test when, or by the time, the teacher declared it was over. So, in that case, we use the past perfect there. Magical. We use the past perfect there to show, like, some sort of connection between between the teacher declaring that the test was over and you're finishing the test. Oops. When you finish the test. Oh, you have to go? Sad face. Bye. Now, this is a little different from I finished the test before the teacher declared it was over. That's a little different. You can see that here the meaning is slightly different from our original sentence, because at this point there's no connection between these two events. You're finishing the test and the teacher's declaring that it was over. Instead, you're implying that there's a gap in the between the two events. So I finished the test before the teacher declared it was over, meaning that, and it doesn't really matter how long the gap is. It could be a second, or it could be minutes, or an hour, or 30 minutes. It does not matter. Yeah, exactly. There's an uncertain gap of time between the two events. Perfect. But what if I said when I finished the test when the teacher declared it was over? Okay, perfect. Now we have another example. Yeah, exactly. It's just as Miss Ducky said. Miss Lucky Ducky. She said, I finished the test when the teacher declared it was over. Meaning that you finished the test right when the teacher declared it was over. So they both happen at the same time. They're both simultaneous. So when you say I had finished the test when the teacher declared it was over, that's not simultaneous. But I finished the test when the teacher declared it was over is simultaneous. So yeah, you can see now that the tense and the conjunction can really change the meaning of this, the meaning of the sentence. Okay, someone else said something here. But in Spanish, you can indicate that an action in the past is done, saying hiciste, but if you say habías hecho, that has the same effect. Sort of, yeah. Again, it's a similar thing with English. There are times where you can say either one and it does not make doesn't not make a difference, but there are times where the meaning would be slightly different. Okay. Yeah, you could think of the past perfect in this case as it's like a closed moment where there's no gap in time between the event in the past perfect and another event in the past. So yeah, exactly. If you think of it that way, that works. Okay, so I was finishing the test when the teacher declared it was over. Okay, so now this is also very different because, okay, so it's similar to the first one where it's like, well, you know, my example where I said I finished the test when the teacher declared it was over. It's similar to that, except that when you say I was finishing the test when the teacher declared it was over, it sounds incomplete. That finishing, it sounds incomplete. It's happening at the same time as, you know, the teacher's declaring that the test was over, but was finishing there sounds incomplete. Now, let's translate that into Spanish and you'll see what I mean. Because in Spanish, this distinction is a little bit clearer. Yeah, exactly. You probably didn't finish the test. So, let's translate this to Spanish. Oh, well, never mind. Someone beat me to it. There you go. Yeah, exactly. It would be estaba finalizando el examen cuando el profesor declaró que se terminó el tiempo. I was finishing the test when my teacher declared it was over. Now, let's change that estaba finalizando. Let's change that to a different verb, and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, terminando also works. Or acabado. That works too, yeah. Really, there are multiple ways of saying it. Okay, so you can see that there's a parallel here between English and Spanish. I was finishing the test when the teacher declared it was over. That was finishing would be parallel to estaba finalizando. Now, if you want to say something like this, here, let me go back to the sentence I had. Now, let's do it like this. I'm going to take this sentence here and change it, and you'll see what I mean. Let me just make sure I conjugated that correctly because I do not want to speak very bad Spanish because I don't want to do that. I think I conjugated it correctly, but let me make sure really fast. Okay. Move! Stupid app! Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I did conjugate it correctly. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so now let's look at the difference between this and this. Oh, right. That really should be, there really should be accent marks here, but I mean, you can still, it's still pretty obvious what the meaning is. Okay. So here, do you see how that's different from the other one? I was finishing, but here you have I finished. So here, the finishing in the first one was incomplete, but in this one, it's complete. I finished the test when the teacher declared it was over. Finalicé el examen cuando el profesor declaró que se terminó el tiempo. So you can see now that they're different. So when you say was finishing in that case, that implies that well, you were in the process of finishing, but your process wasn't completed. Yeah, exactly. In this one, for sure, you finish the test. So you can see that it works the same way as in Spanish. Although in Spanish, for this, for this sentence, está finalizando el examen cuando el profesor declaró que se terminó el tiempo. You could actually replace this first verb with just the simple imperfect. So instead of saying estaba finalizando, you could say finalizaba instead. That can work too. But using estaba finalizando makes the meaning a little clearer, like the progressive meaning a little clearer. So, oh, thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you. I feel like it could be so much better though. I think like I'm messing part of it up because I'm a bit nervous to pronounce things in Spanish because it's like But yeah, you can see that in English and Spanish this works the same way. So it's not any different. But in English we can't really use the simple past tense like that because then it would sound complete. Finished. We would just say was finishing period, not finished. Oh, thank you guys. You're so kind. Yeah, I learned a lot more Spanish grammar than I probably need. But anyway. But yeah, you get the idea. It works the same way in both languages. Now, with French grammar, I can't comment on that, unfortunately. Or German grammar, for that matter. But Spanish I can do. Okay. But anyway, you guys get the basic concept of the past perfect and how it differs from the past simple. So now let's do excuse me. Now let's do some exercises. I'm just reading Magical's comment right now. Oh, wait, before we do the exercises, let's look at Magical's comment here. Let's read what he said. Here's a good exercise. Let's see if you can test yourself with the problem, which was discussed in the class yesterday. Try not looking at my message in which I said the differences. Okay, so I finished brushing my teeth when you entered the bathroom. I had finished my teeth when you entered the bathroom. I finished brushing my teeth before you entered the bathroom. Which one has happened simultaneously? Which one has happened a significant time before the other occurred, and which one has happened a little time before the other one occurred? So the first one is probably the easiest to answer. Oops, let me change that. Do this exercise, everyone. French grammar is so interesting because it's in many ways similar to English and Spanish grammar. Like the French system has quite a number of tenses, just like English and Spanish. Okay, so let's answer these questions first. So let me bring this thing back. So here, let's do this one at a time. Let's do that. Let's do this one at a time. So going back to this, which one happened simultaneously? Tell me which sentence here happened. Which sentence had two actions that happened simultaneously? The second, not quite. Number one? Yes. See, there you go. Yeah, number one. Okay. Now let's do this again, and this time we shall... Yeah, exactly, the first. Oh, you already have the answers. Okay. Okay. Now, what about this one? Which one has happened a significant time before the other occurred? Hold on, let me check something really fast. Okay, so it would actually be the third. That's correct. It would be the third. It would be the third. That one was tricky, but it would be the third. Yeah, exactly. It's because of the word before. You can think of it like that. Because again, remember, the past simple is used for establishing the sequence of events in the timeline. So first I did this, then I did that. Before I did that, I did this. Afterwards, I did that. So that's what the past simple is used for. Okay, now I'm sure you can answer what the last question. I'm sure you can answer the last question. So, but I'll do it anyway. Which one has happened a little time before the other occurred? Yeah, the second, exactly. See, you're all so smart. You're all so smart. Why not 2? Well, because 2 implies that there's a gap in time between the two actions. No, I'm sorry. The last one implies that there's a gap between the two actions. The second one implies that there's basically no gap. Vous êtes bien smart, as we say in Quebec. Okay, so I thought so. So you do speak that dialect of French, don't you? Lucky. It differs quite a bit from European French and African French. But it's an interesting dialect. Oh, you don't? Pfft, never mind. I thought you did. You speak a hybrid. I was like, what? Poggers! Oh god, I could never call it that. But anyway, très bien. Now, let's go ahead and do another exercise that I have. But first, someone DM'd me. Okay. He says he can't see my, excuse me. He says he can't see my exercises. It's weird. Wait, hold on. Magical wrote something else here. Another practice for people who are interested. Make 3 sentences in which you talk about these 2 actions. Use past perfect, past simple, when, and before for creating your sentences. First, buying a car. Second, your friend buying a car. In the first sentence, indicate that you bought the car a little time before your friend did. In the second sentence, indicate that you both bought it at the same time. In the third sentence, indicate that you bought the car a long time before your friend did. Okay, yeah, okay, I see what he's saying here. So remember that example, that exercise we just did? Now you guys form sentences where you use the past perfect, past simple, with when and before, like how we did earlier. So basically, here, let me provide an example. So follow this format. So let me show you guys an example so that you're not like, OMG, what do we do? But anyway, so basically, my God, okay. Yes, pat the poggers on the head. Or Kermit the Frog, whatever applies. Okay, anyway, follow this format. Oh, you have to go? I am sad. So follow this format, but instead of these sentences, like use the context that Magical provided. If I had learned English when I was young, maybe I will take the by out, but maybe I would have work today. That could work, yeah. So follow that format. So create 3 sentences that are like that, but use the context that Magical provided. So buying a car and your friend buying a car. Close, Muhammad. Something's wrong with the second part of your sentence there. Actually, no, work is fine. You don't have to put the article before it. But if you want to say job, then yes, you have to put an article before it. I guess he meant job. Yeah, that's probably what he meant. You have a darker example. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Actually, we can do that one, but I want to do Magical's exercise first. So here, let me show you guys how the first one would look. Or anyway, I had bought a car when my friend bought a car. Okay, good. That's good. That would be number 2. So someone has done number 2. Let me actually add that to this. Okay, so someone answered the second one. I had bought a car when my friend bought a car. Oops. That's misspelled. It should be this one. There. Or I had bought a car when my friend did. That works too. It doesn't. You don't have to repeat the word. The phrase bought a car. You don't have to do that. I bought a car before my friend bought his car. Yeah, perfect. That would be number 3. Let's modify this. And I bought a car when my friend bought a car. Yeah, that would be number 1. Yeah, you could just say did in this case. I had bought a car when my friend did. I bought a car before my friend did. I bought a car when my friend did. But I'm just going to repeat it because I want to show, like, I think that would make this exercise a little clearer. Oops. You could bought his one. Actually, I think bought his would be even better. You don't have to put the one in there. Like putting the one in there would make it sound weird. Or you could say bought his or bought one, but bought his one sounds weird. Okay, so I bought a car when my friend bought a car. I had bought a car when my friend bought a car. I bought a car before my friend bought a car. Wow, that does sound redundant. Okay, well, anyway, you could say when my friend did. That works too. Let's just say when my friend did. Or when my friend bought his. Either way. Or my friend bought one. Or did the same thing. Yeah, you can phrase it in any way you want, as long as it makes sense. But, anyway. I transferred somebody for your activity. Would you like to see? Oh, most certainly! That face. Oh, was there a fourth one? Oh wait, no, a fourth sentence wasn't specified in Magical's exercise. But yeah, if we had a fourth one, it would be, if you want to express that one action was in progress when another action happened, then yeah, you could say I was buying a car when my friend bought a car. That in that case that would work. Like, because now you're saying, okay, the buying took place around the same time that when someone else bought the car. Like, they happened together, but one wasn't complete while the other one was. Let's see. Wow. Wow, Miss Ducky. Sad face. Shame on you for typing that. No, I'm kidding. Oh, bye, Antonio Doctor. You've been such a great help. What does your profile picture even have? I don't even recognize that character. But anyway, bah. Okay, hold on. Someone's DMing me. Okay. Is there a difference between got and gotten? Yes. Team gotten, right? Okay, yeah. So gotten is... Okay, so both got and gotten are past participles of the verb to get. But, okay, so in British English, they use got for... They use got for both got and gotten, but in America we use got and gotten differently, if that makes sense. So in British English you're never going to hear gotten, but in American English you'll hear both got and gotten. Yeah, got is technically considered informal, so in some contexts anyway. Now, you can use got when it comes to possession. So, like, I've got a piece of paper for you. That's fine. if you take out the have there, like if you say I got a piece of paper for you, that's technically fine, but it's but I believe the standard way is to say I have got a piece of paper for you. So in that case, it's fine. But when it comes to gotten, it's you use that when you want to indicate that you've received something. So for example, I've gotten word that my parents are in the hospital, or I've gotten a present today, or something like that. So we distinguish. We make a distinction between got and gotten in American English, but in British English, they just use got for everything. Which isn't wrong, but that's just not how we do it over here. And that's just not how we do it over here in America. But anyway, I do have exercises I would like to do. Let us be doing them. Let us do them. Oh, let us do them together. My pog champs in arms. I need to stop saying that word. Anyway, honestly, it's rather hard to find exercises online because many of them are so crappy. They are just so crappy. But I have a few here I can use. Okay, let's go to this one here. Teachers go hiss, right? It's like, have got, how dare you? I have got time, I have time. What is the difference? There's no difference there. I've something for you. That's a fancier way of using have. So like you could say, and in British English sometimes they do that, like, but in American English it's not as common to do that. So you could say, I haven't the foggiest idea, or I've so many things to say to you, stuff like that. Or I haven't the time to waste with you, or stuff like that. Okay, now let's go to, like, I haven't the time, sir. You haven't the time? Utter bollocks! No, I'm kidding. But anyway, let's do this one. Got to, no, that's strictly American English. Are you kidding me? How the heck is it not working? How in the Sam Holy Hill is it not working? It says error. Oh, it's working for you? Huh. Oh, it's here from archive. VPN or some sort? I don't know. Like, it's working for me. But I mean, but if you guys can see it, then that's good. So, let's continue. So, complete the sentences below using the negative form of the past perfect. Let me switch OBS Studio over to the exercise so that way those who are recording can just follow along. And then I'll switch back to the Discord chats when I'm finished. Okay. So let me switch over to this. All right. Now, okay, so here's our exercise. The past perfect negative. Complete the sentences below using the negative form of the past perfect. Use the short form. So what they mean is, I'm guessing they mean use contractions. So we have to use the past perfect here, but it has to be negative, so you need to put the not in there. Though you'll need to use a contraction, so you'll have to use hadn't instead of had not. So can somebody do the first one for me? Oops. Or you guys can just answer it like the first one together. It does not matter. Yeah, there you go. Hadn't seen, hadn't seen. Okay, so in this case, we need to put hadn't seen. Okay, oop, I can't spell today. All right, number 2. I saw him because he blank for work. So we need the past perfect negative form of leave, the verb to leave. Yeah, there you go. Hadn't left. Hadn't left. He hadn't left for work. I saw him because he hadn't left for work. Number 3. The girl was afraid. She blank on the plane before. So we need to use the negative form of the verb fly in the past perfect. Yeah, and Magical has also posted the sentences here for you because he's awesome like that. Yeah, so you can follow along with the page or with the Discord chat. Yeah, it should be hadn't flown. No, not flaught. Flown. Flown is the form. So it should be hadn't flown. She hadn't flown on a plane before. Okay, number 4. Tamsin was happy to see John again. They blank for a long time. So we need the negative past perfect form of meet. Oh, look at you, Carlos. You are fast with these answers. Okay, I see you. Yeah, but it's hadn't met. Pork! Oh, I love a good pork in the morning. I'm kidding. Oh, God. But anyway. Number 5. He didn't get the job because he blank all his papers. You're so funny. Thank you. Oh, no problem, Mohammed. No problem. But yeah, it would be hadn't flown for number 4. No, sorry, number 3. Okay, yeah, remember, anyone can answer these, really, so just type your answer. Emma! Hallo, wie geht's dir? Hi, how are you? Yeah, it would be hadn't sent. Yay, Emma, du bist hier. Das freut mich sehr. Yay, you're here. That makes me happy. Okay, anyway. He didn't get the job because he hadn't sent all of his papers. So yes, that's correct. No, we have to use the past perfect negative form. So it wouldn't be sent, it would be hadn't sent. Yeah, there you go. Hadn't sent. Perfect. Now it's right. I have one. What? Poggers! Okay, what was I doing? Okay, number 6. The apartment was dirty. They blank it for a long time. What? Hadn't cleaned? That's correct. Is iron the past participle of to iron? Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, mir geht es sehr gut, danke. Oh, I'm doing very well, thank you. German practice, I love it. So number 6 should be, I think someone else already said it. Yeah, 2 people said it. Hadn't cleaned. Okay. Number 7, the dog was really hungry. Mary blank it since Monday. Hadn't fed. See, you guys are oh so good at this, aren't you? Number 8, she blank her blouse. She looked a mess. Ha! Loser! No, I'm kidding. But what would be the answer for this one? For number 8? Hadn't ironed. There you go. Hey, that's how you do. That's how you do. You got it. She hadn't ironed her blouse. Okay, number 9. The house didn't fall down. Luckily, the termites had luckily, the termites blank all the floors as originally thought. Yeah, hadn't eaten. Okay, and number 10. Derek was very tired. He blank at all. Ooh, you all are so good at this. Hadn't slept. He hadn't slept at all. Poor guy. Let's check our answers. Good work. All of your answers are correct. Obviously. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that's correct. Yeah, we got everything. Yas, let's go. Let's us be going. I'm not going to use that one. That exercise looks like crap. And I'm going to... No, I need to keep that one open, actually. Let's see. Close out of that. Close out of that. And yeah, Magical just posted all the answers here like a boss. Okay. Ooh, let's do conditional. Let's talk about conditionals now really fast, because now we talked about the indicative in this case. And we also mentioned the subjunctive as well, but let's practice a bit with the subjunctive. Or I should say in Spanish, subjuntivo. Or in German, conjunctive. Because why not? Anyway. Conjunctivitis. Oh no. Ew. Gross. or in French, the subjunctive. I don't know how to say. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce that correctly. But anyway. Hi, Wolf. What's up? What's up? Yeah, so as Magical just said, that's a good point. So past participles, you know, like broken, flown, slept, ironed. So slept is not a good example. I'm sorry. Ironed, written. Those can be used as adjectives. So remember, those verb 3. That form can be used as an adjective. So you could say the broken container, or the written letter, or what else? The ironed shirt. Why are you hating on me? Oh, no, I wasn't talking about your question. I was talking about an exercise I had up on this browser. I wasn't talking about your question. Sorry if that wasn't clear. Okay, sus. No, you're sus. You're sus. Cyan sus. Vote him out. Oh, okay. Makes perfect sense. Anyway, ooh, okay, let's do this one. Ooh, this one seems good. Yas, let's do this one. Why not? Okay. Ready? Okay. I'm not a cheerleader, nor do I plan to be one. Anyway. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Hey, okay. Someone's having fun in that seat. Okay, I forgot what the celebrity's name was, though. I think that's John Legend? Well, whatever. I think that's John Legend. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, okay, yeah, so it is John Legend. Okay. But let's go. Oh. What the heck? What the heck? What the freak? Why isn't it showing up? OMG. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Cause all of me loves all of you. Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. No, I'm totally kidding. But anyway. I sounded crusty and dusty there when I sang, "Give your all to me." But, my bad. But anyway, let's go to the exercise. Not that one. Yeah, my first one was better. But thank you, Wolf. Okay, let's do this one now. Miss Ducky, don't point a gun at me, please. So let's do this one. Now, if you remember, before we start this exercise, remember, a third conditional has the form of if past perfect subjunctive then, and the then is optional, then conditional perfect. If past perfect subjunctive, then conditional perfect. Let me switch over to the Discord one really fast so you guys could see what I typed in the recording, I mean. Okay. So remember, if past perfect subjunctive, then conditional perfect. That is the formula for the third conditional. You'll be 29 in October. I'll be like 27 in October. October 2nd to be specific. But anyway, let's go back to the exercise. Put this here, put this here, there. Okay. So number 1, someone already answered it, but oh, you'll be 28 in April next year? Okay, that's how you do, that's how you do. So you're about 6 months older than me. Yeah, my birthday's October 2nd. Okay. Poggers. Oh, 17th? Okay, okay. That's how you do, Miss Ducky. Okay, I think someone already answered the first one. So for the third conditional form, make the third conditional. If you blank, so you have to use a form of not and be for the past perfect, we blank, not miss, so the conditional perfect here, and then the bus. I feel a bit old too, TBH. Wolf. You'll be 20 next year? Oh, okay. I thought you were older than that. But someone answered it. If you had not been late, we would not have missed the bus. Yes. Exactly. So, if you had not been late, we would not have missed the bus. I don't think they require you to use contractions here. So, we're Gucci. We are Gucci. But anyway. Wow, some people cannot drive. Anyway, I took that as a compliment. Thank you. Good. What was... Someone else said something earlier. What was it? You want to take a moment to ask me why the D sound at the end of past tense verbs, not ed, is hard to pronounce for non-native speakers. For example, cleaned, longed, showered. Cleaned, longed, showered. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I can see why that would cause problems for people. I think it's just a matter of practice. Because I think that sometimes even native speakers like drop sounds like that when they're speaking really fast. But yeah, and as someone else pointed out, sometimes that ending sound can turn into a T. But Magical asked something. Is this sentence wrong? If we had exercised, we would have been in a better shape. If you take the article out, then the sentence would be perfect. Yeah, but that sentence isn't wrong. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. Yep. Oh, I should probably post the link again, because some people probably can't access it. You have to go? Oh, bye. Thank you for being here, Miss Ducky. Oh, so lucky. Oh, not you? Pff, I'm stupid. Anyway. But yeah. If she... I think someone said it right now. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. Yes. If she had studied, she would have passed the exam. But since she's stupid, she didn't. Anyway. Now, number 3. If we blank earlier... So we need a verb a verb form of arrive, of the word arrive, and then we blank see John. So that was a good rhyme. Thank you. Maybe I should be a rapper. If we had arrived earlier, we would have seen John. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Yeah, thank you. If we had arrived earlier, we would have seen John. Perfect. Okay, number 4. If they blank to bed early, they blank up late. So we have to use go, a form of go for the first one, the past perfect form of go, and then for the second one we need to use the negated conditional perfect form of the verb wake. Chiminem. Yeah, I'm Chiminem. Eminem's long lost black cousin. No, I'm totally kidding. Anyway. If they had gone to sleep earlier, they wouldn't have woken up late. Yep. Perfect. If they had gone to bed early, they wouldn't have woken up late. I'm just going to put would not have woken up, just in case the test screams at me for using contractions. If he blank a musician, he blank a CD. So the first verb is record, become, and the second is record. Yeah. If you were not late, we would not miss. It should be if we had not been late, we wouldn't have missed the bus. Word doesn't make any sense there because we're talking about a past imaginary situation. Were is used for present imaginary situations with conditionals like this. Yeah, had become and would have recorded. That's correct. Oops. I like wouldn't have. Oh God. Please don't. No, it would be had become would have recorded. So you're missing a have there. But other than that, yeah, that would be right. But other than that, that's correct, Wolf. Had become would have recorded. Okay, now let's do the next one. If she blank to art school, she blank a painter. So the first one should be go in the past perfect. The second should be become in the conditional perfect. Past perfect subjunctive, I should say. So past perfect subjunctive and then conditional perfect. If she had gone to art school, she would have become a painter. Yes. But she sucked at painting, so oh well. I'm kidding. I'm so mean. Okay, number 7. If I blank born in a different country, I blank to speak a different language. So what should that one be? And close, Jazzy, but remember we have to use the past perfect subjunctive. Had been, yeah, exactly, had been, and then would have learned, or would have learnt. Technically learnt works, but I'm going to put learnt in there because I think that's what the test would want. If I had been born in a different country, I would have learned to speak a different language. And if I had been a wolf, I would have chewed everybody out here. Although I think if I were a wolf would work better there for some reason. In that case, I would have used the mixed conditional. But either way, I understood what you said and what you meant, and that's the important part. Okay, let me see. All right. If she blanked university, she blank French. So go and then study. And you can, and I think later down, yeah, after the 10th question, the structure shifts. The structure of these sentences shifts. So the if clause comes second this time. But that's for questions 11 through 20. If she had gone to university, she would have studied French. That's correct. If she had gone to university, she would have studied French. Okay, number 9. If we blank to the party, we blank them. So you have to use a form of not go for the first and then not meet for the second. If we had not gone to the party, we would not have met them. Yes. So if we had not gone or hadn't gone, I'm just gonna not put the contractions in. I'm just not going to put the contractions in there just in case. If we had not gone to the party, we would not have met them. Okay. Okay, so now let's do the next one. If he blank the job, he blank traveling. So not take and then go. Okay. Yeah, exactly. If he had not taken the job, he would have been traveling. Yeah, see, Emma, you got it too. Yes, yes. Yes, see, you all are getting it. If he had not taken the job, he would not have gone traveling. Okay, just making sure I'm still recording. It would be sad if I'd be very sad if I if I ended up not recording everything. Okay, he blank happier if he blank at home. Okay, so the structure changes this time. So now you have so now you have the structure. It's still the same. It's still a third conditional, but now you have something like if we are running out of time. Okay, so now it's like conditional perfect if past perfect subjunctive. Conditional perfect if past perfect subjunctive. So that's this formula this time. Okay, so yeah, would have been, as you guys said, would have been, and then had not stayed. So he would have been happier if he had not stayed at home. Yeah, you should. It says magical said. You need to switch those two verbs around. That's why I made sure to point out that, although I did type it like shortly after you typed your comment, Muhammad. Yeah, where the structure of the sentence is reversed this time. I mean, either had if I had been your girlfriend or if I were your girlfriend. Technically either works, but they just mean slightly different things. Hello, Abbage, Lord of Cabbage. Okay, let's hurry this up. She blanked the exam if she blank harder. I think someone else answered this earlier. No? Oh, never mind. And again, this is the exercise we're doing. So we're on number 12 right now. Would have passed, had studied. Yes. She would have passed the exam if she had studied harder. Okay, number 13. We blank married if we blank to the same university. Yeah, wouldn't have gotten, hadn't gone. So we would not have gotten married if we had, I put the caps lock there, we had not gone to the same university. Perfect. Number 14. They blank late if they blank a taxi. Would have been, hadn't taken. Yeah, they would have been late if they had not taken a taxi. You guys are good at this. Okay, 5 more. We can do this. Number 15. She blank him if she blank to London. You're waiting patiently for an ebook from him? Wouldn't have met, hadn't come. See? Yes, let's go. Jasper, Luffy King, and Emma, let's go. Speaking of Luffy King, if you're gonna watch One Piece, don't watch the 4Kids version. Oh my god, it is so bad. But anyway, she would not have met him if she hadn't come to London. Yes. Okay, 5 more. I think I already said 5 more. My bad. I meant 6 more before, but now we have 5 left. Okay, 16. He blank a taxi if he blank enough money. Would have taken, had. Had. That's so awkward, but it's technically correct. And there are times where you will have to say it because you can't just, because had and had are very different. But yes, he would have taken a taxi if he had enough money. Yeah, you'd have to use the had here. No, there's no way around it. Had is my friend. He had. Because, you know, had. He had. That phrase had, which he had. But anyway, number 17. Blank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I blank you if I blank you if I blank my phone. Would have called had. Does had come in a sentence rarely? More, yeah, it's not very common. It's occasional, but you will hear it. Would have called, hadn't forgotten. Yes, I would have called you if I had not forgotten my cell phone. Now, number 18. We blank if we blank. Invited. So they want you to use a form of come, the conditional perfect of the verb come, and then the past perfect subjunctive form of the word be. Yeah, would have come, had been. And someone already answered the next one, but I'll get to that in a moment. We would have come if we had been invited, but you weren't because you're losers. Ha! But anyway, we would have come if we had been invited. We would. So the second one, number 19 is she blank it if she blank you were ill. So as someone else said, would, well, it should technically be would it. Jasper, you were close. It would be wouldn't have done, but I got what you meant. Yeah. As this Wolf said, wouldn't have done and then had known. She would not have done that. She would not have done it if she had known you were ill. Okay, number 20. They use the past perfect there, average, because they're saying that the boys quitting high school did not happen at the same time he was 16. Like, if that makes sense. Like, they want to emphasize that the had quit, like, that was like that happened sometime in the past and then led up to when he was 16. So that's why they used the past perfect there. Although the past simple works there too. It would just mean something different. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't have been, hadn't left. It should be should be the positive form here. So he would have been on time if he had left earlier. Yes. Yeah, so you guys are correct. Would have been, had left. See? Perfect. Now let's check our answers really fast. Check. 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 Failed. No, I'm kidding. Check. 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 Oh, shoot. Oops, right. Sorry. It should be, if he had not taken the job, he would have gone traveling. My bad. I must have mistyped it. Check. Oh, same thing here. He would have been happier if he had stayed at home. Why did I put not there? Okay, check. Check. Oh, see, I'm putting... Wait, hold up. Wait, they wanted got? We would not have got married? No, screw that. Heck no. Gross. No. Ew. I will not accept that. No. Would not have gotten. No, that's how we say it in America. No, forget that. That test is wrong. Okay. Check. 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 And check. Okay, there we go. Team gotten. There we go. Oh, thank you, Venice Bish. Bish. Swish, swish, bish. Another one in the basket. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So that's that. Okay, let me switch back to the Discord call really fast. Discord chat, sorry. Okay. One more thing I want to point out, and it'll be really fast. Okay, so as you all know, you can contract the conditional perfect and the past perfect subjunctive, or past perfect indicative for that matter. So would have done could be further shortened to would have done, and would not have done would be shortened to wouldn't have done. And for the past perfect subjunctive, had he, or past perfect indicative, does not matter. He had left would be he'd left, and he had not left would be he hadn't left. So you can contract these. Would have done, would have done. Would not have done, wouldn't have done. He had left, he'd left. He had not left, he hadn't left. Aw, thank you, Emma. You get a pog champ from me. And a heart. Okay. So, oh, and sometimes it can be ambiguous, the past perfect contraction period. It can be ambiguous because something like he'd put could mean he had put or he would put. So sometimes that apostrophe D can be ambiguous. Sometimes it can mean had, sometimes it can mean would. So how do you tell the difference? Context. That's really it. But there are times where it's pretty obvious, like he'd known. That can only be he had known. Not he had not he would known. No, this is not correct. He'd known can only be he had known, not he would known. No, that's not possible. He would know it's possible, but that'd be different. Okay, and one final thing. Yeah, I forgot to mention, he'd have been is also possible. You could say he'd have been, or he would have been. That can be both of those would mean he would have been. He didn't have been. What? Oh God, no! Please don't, Abbage. Okay, and one last thing before I stop the recording. One last thing. One last thing. I know Alan's like, he's about to have class. Let me just do this one last thing really fast. What is wrong with this sentence? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this sentence? Yeah, I'm sure Alan is patient too. I just don't want to like get in the way of his class, but we are almost done. Yeah, exactly. It should be if he had told me. If he had told me. Not if he would have told me. You can't use would have after the word if like that. That's not standard. But people do it all the time. So you will hear that from some people, not everyone. I'd say like there's a 50% chance you'll hear from natives. So some people use it, some people don't. But the standard form is had told. If he had told me, not if he would have told me. But if you say would have told, like if you use it like that, well, you won't sound non-native. But it's not standard, and it's pretty pointless too. It makes no sense to use would have like that, because you're just adding one extra word that doesn't need to be there. Just say if he had told me. With conditionals I should use were, right? It depends. Yeah, it should be if he had told me. So let's fix this sentence. Oop, my bad. Now my mom says would have told like that or stuff like that, and I'm just like, ew, no, don't do that. I don't correct her on it, but I'm like, ew. Anyway, so you could say so to correct this sentence, it should be if he had told me I would have listened, or had he told me I would have listened. So that's the corrected form of the sentence. If he had told me, I would have listened. Or had he told me, I would have listened. Okay, so this is the standard form. That's the standard form. If you're going to say I would go if he... It should be I would go if he had told me earlier, because of that earlier there. Okay, I think that's all I can say about the past perfect. Hopefully... Oh, well, actually, one more thing. So, as I said, if you're going to use the past perfect, I'm not talking about the subjunctive this time, I'm talking about the indicative. So like no conditionals. Oh wait, actually one more thing. There's a similar logic. What I was telling you earlier. There's a similar logic here. What is wrong with this sentence? Told everyone. Like I was talking about that sentence earlier where it's like where I said if he would have told me. So here's a similar issue. What's wrong with that sentence? Yeah, you could think of it like that. No, like remember, it's the same. It's the same as before. Yeah, exactly. I wish he had told me. Exactly. I wish he had told me. Yeah, see, Emma, you got it. So did you, Jasper. You guys have got it. Yeah, I wish he had told me. That's the standard way of doing it. But people sometimes say, I wish he would have told me. No. You can say, I wish he could have told me. That works, technically. Or I wish he had told me, but not, I wish he would have told me. So it should be, I wish he had told me. But again, if you say would have told like that, you're not going to sound non-native, but it's not standard. So I'm not saying it's wrong, just not standard. So I wish he had told me. I wish we would visit Thailand next year. Correct? Yeah, that's technically correct. I wish you had told me the truth. Yeah, that works too. You could also technically say, I wish you told me the truth, but that would mean something different. Like someone habitually doesn't tell you the truth in the present. So be careful with the past simple and the past perfect, because they often mean very different things. This made me realize why some non-natives speak better than me. Ha! And it's not surprising, like, because they're often taught to know better. So they'll never say things like, they'll never mix up things like your and your. And thank God for that. But yeah. I'd not be able to reduce this to D because it's not would. They may still do that if they have dyslexia. I wish he told me. Yeah, you can say I wish he told me, but that would mean something slightly different. Because you're saying that he... Like, okay, so it's like this. I wish he told me I wish he told me the truth, but he doesn't. Whereas with the past perfect, it's like, I wish he had told me the truth, but he didn't. So do you see the difference there? Okay. Yeah, see? I think hope's a bit stronger than wish, but anyway. Oh, wow, Magical. Look at you typing like a boss. I might as well pin this, because that's a long message. I might as well pin this. There. It has been pinned. He's magical. Yep. Magical is magical. Magical, magical. Did it. All for us. Magical, magical is magical. And magical, magical is magical, magical. Isn't he? But anyway. But yeah, I pinned it, so anyway. We're good now. Okay, I don't want to make this... Alan is patiently waiting for me. I think I've just about covered everything. I can't think of anything else to cover. I wish I were magical. Hey, be careful with that knife, Miss Ducky. But Alan be like. Okay, but I think that's just about it. So hopefully you all understand how to use the past perfect better now. And remember, one final tip: do not use the past perfect when the past simple would be just fine. Oops, I can't spell today. Please don't. Because if you overuse the past perfect, remember, as I said in the previous class, if you overuse it, it will sound clunky and awkward. So don't do that, please. So remember, use the past perfect only when you should. If you overuse it, your writing will sound weird, and you might accidentally mess up the sequence of events. Because remember, the past perfect and past simple often mean very different things. So if you say something like, I had gone to the store, and then I had left the building. No, stop that. I went to the store, and then I left the building. Please. But anyway, that's it for this class. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't be like people who don't know how to use the past perfect. And I had gone to the store because I had thought, alright, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, please stop. Okay, but yeah, that's the end of the class. And now I shall stop recording.